Superman 78 of the Metal Curtain issue 4 heads to Washington DC, where tourists at the White House look to the skies as a being silhouetted in the sun descends to them, telling them that they will all join the revolution. A child believes it to be Superman, however it's revealed to be Metallo, who along with his Soviet flag lands in front of the White House, telling the people their hero Metallo is there and their capitalist ways are over. The news begins coverage of Metallo's arrival in Washington as the army is deployed, coming for the Soviet. Metallo simply stomps on the ground, causing a small quake that trips up the men. A news van pulls up and the crew begin filming Metallo, who demands that they record every moment of this for the history books, as there will be no twisting of today's truth. He wants them to call in Superman, who hears Metallo's call thanks to his super hearing. Clark watches the news from the planet Bullpen with the other reporters as the on-the-ground reporter reveals Metallo is now attacking people, firing indiscriminately into the crowds. They warn no one to approach the city as Clark heads into an empty office, opening a window and flying out to confront Metallo. In Washington, the army continue to try and combat Metallo, this time using tanks, but the villain just becomes impatient with them. Superman arrives, slamming into the villain and driving him back. Metallo is glad to see the hero again, punching him back into the army truck, much to the surprise of the watching news crews and Lois. The army commander orders his men to fire everything, bombarding Metallo with rockets, but they do nothing to him. Metallo isn't impressed with this so-called American power, wondering how they even won the war. He readies his own weapons, but Superman grabs his arms, tossing him away and reminding the villain that nobody wins a war. Superman tries to lift the now-destroyed tank, but the kryptonite is beginning to have an effect on him, causing him to become weakened. Metallo hopes that he won't give up just yet, since the world deserves a battle befitting their rival empires. Superman obliges him, slamming the tank down on Metallo and seemingly ending the threat. Jimmy and the other reporters cheer for the hero, but Lois can tell that something is wrong with him. The tank begins to rumble and Superman tells the people to get back as it explodes. Metallo tells Superman that he's waited to have this fight, hoping that Superman has more in the tank. Superman doesn't want to fight, trying to understand why the man is doing all of this, but Metallo tells him that it's so he can end the American way and do it in a way that the entire world will see it. Metallo powers up his kryptonite heart, bathing Superman in the radiation. Suddenly, Superman's hearing dials into a familiar frequency as Lex Luthor contacts him, telling the hero that it looks like he needs some help. Superman barely dodges a kryptonite blast as he wonders to himself what Lex wants. Lex figures that he's thinking that, telling Superman that the Russian is wearing armor that he designed, and Superman should note that he installed an emergency failsafe to power down the armor, and it's located at the base of the neck on the back of the armor. Metallo demands that Superman stand his ground and die with honor, so the hero does stand his ground, asking him to hit him with his best shot. Metallo fires a blast of kryptonite at him, but Superman dodges at the last minute, getting behind Metallo and finding the override switch. Pressing it locks down the armor, allowing Superman to deliver a knockout blow. As the shutdown sequence begins counting down from 30 seconds, the beaten Metallo manages to blast off into the sky and disappear. The military wants Superman to go after him, but the hero tells him that there has been enough fighting for one day and they need to see to the injured. Superman takes off and waves to the people as he leaves Washington, and Jimmy tells Lois that that was just another easy win for Superman and it's going to look good on tomorrow's front page. Lois, however, isn't too sure, despite assuring Jimmy that it will be. Lex, meanwhile, has another victory cigar, telling Superman that they should have a chat. Superman hates that he has to agree with Lex, but does so and heads to his location to finally get answers on Project Metallo.